Have you been thinking about getting rid of the stock shocks on your Harley? Well, I have, and I'm going to take you on that journey as I look at 3 different brands of shocks and find out which ones I picked and why. So hang out and check out the second brand of shocks that I looked at. Hi, and welcome to Road Rush Nation. I'm Terry, your host here, and thank you so much for joining us and checking out the channel. If you're a member of the nation already, thank you so much, and we really appreciate you subscribing to the channel. If you'd like to be a member of the nation, it's free. All you need to do is give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Oh, and don't forget the bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. So now that we're done with that, let's get to the important stuff of why you're here. This is the second part of my shock choice journey, shall we call it. I was going to put all this together in one, but it'd be such a big video. Who wants to be on YouTube for an hour and a half? So I've taken and broke them down into each part. Last week, I reviewed the Wilbers. So if you'd like to see that, there'll be a link at the end of this video where you can check out the Wilbur shocks. This week, we're looking at Legends. Now, before I get too far, disclaimer, I am paying for these shocks out of my own pocket. So there's no sponsorship by anyone as to which shocks I choose. Just wanted to make sure that's clear, that this is not an endless budget. Oh, one company gave me shocks for free, that's why I put them on the bike. No, none of that happened. This is purely my choice. So then at the end, the last episode, I'll break down each one of the brands and the goods and the bads of each, and why I chose what I did. And that's the whole story. We're all going through this and we're all never quite sure which ones to pick, and I'm just going to show you why I picked what I did. So with that said, I want to explain to you, we've got a big ride coming up this year. We're taking a bucket list ride down to Key West, and we're in Kansas City. So it's a couple weeks of riding, which I'm really looking forward to. We'll do that at the end of June. Could we pick $100 a month to be in Florida? No. Anyway, so for that long ride, I want something comfortable for me to ride. Now, Aaron, on he's got the 2019 CBO Ultra. He's all like, I'm fine with what I have. I don't need any extra shocks. Got it. And there's many people that are out that are just like that. We don't necessarily ride with a passenger. He might have a passenger once in a while, which might be a friend or one of the kids, and our kids are adults, that might be riding on the back, but we pretty much just one-up solo riders. The only thing extra is we might have some luggage on there, just to give you an idea of the shock requirements that I'm looking at. So it's just me riding on my 2021 Street Glide Special, and you're probably wondering why the cover's on it. Well, part of it is it's really dusty. We're on a dirt road, and I like to keep it covered up. I do have a 2021 Arctic Blast Street Glide Special, number 219 out of 500, so I'm a little particular about that. Okay, I'm rambling there, aren't I? So let's just stop right there, and let's get to why you're here. Let's go talk about the Legend shocks.
So this week I'm looking at Legend shock, and there's a wide variety of styles that you can choose from Legend. Unlike the Wilbers, these are made in the United States. You're probably pretty familiar with them. They are at all the big rallies. Their main headquarters is in Sturgis. So if you've been up to Sturgis, stop by. If you are interested in Legends, go by their facility and check them out. They'll answer all your questions and help get you set up. You'll see that I've got their website up so that you can get it. I will have a link down in the description so you can check them out, because this is not an easy task to decide which shock should I get. So let me take you through. Let's just kind of scroll down here real quick. You see they've got their video playing, Shop By Your Bike. These are not just made for Harley. These are made for Indians also. So if you're an Indian rider, check out what they have available for you. Alrighty. So in the search, you'll see I put up that I've got my 2021 Harley Davidson Street Glide Special. And below is the options that are available for my bike. You do have the reservoir style, which is a little more elaborate than I really wanted to go, but they are running 14 $15.95. I'm really not interested in the reservoirs. One of the reasons I'm not really a fan of the whole reservoir back here, and don't laugh, but if I'm going to have 2 bottles back there, it better be some NOS, not for my brake, or excuse me, my shock. And then you'll see you need to have your external mounting brackets, which is running $240. They offer a variety of front suspension. If you're going to do the front and the back, you'll want to check these out. Some are for lowering, depends on the ride. You definitely want to check out or speak with a Legends representative to make sure you're getting what you think or what you're looking. I am not really have to have the front at this time. Remember, I am paying for all of this out of my own pocket. They also offer air rides, the Legend Air, it's not an air ride, that confused, air shock. I'm not really interested in the air shocks. There's different styles. You kind of go from one to the next, and you'll see they run from about $1,800 to about $2,000. That's one reason I'm not really in price, but for these, you have to have a hand pump to do your adjust. Aaron has a set of shocks on his CVO that do the whole air pumping thing, and what a pain in the arse when you're out on the road. So not really. So I'm going to look at the coil suspension. This is really primarily what I was looking at because I want to kind of compare apples to apples. So for me, after doing some research and doing some searching on the Legend site and finding out what would really fit my type of riding, it would be the Revo A. Because of the height of my bike, I don't need it to lower it. I'm good with the height. I'm not really carving canyons. I will be doing some long distance riding, but not primarily in canyon riding. For what I'm doing, this is perfect. So let's take a look at the Revo A. So here we are on the Revo A FLH, which is perfect for my bike. It fits my setup. If you go to the choose the option, you'll see that they've got some, if you want shorter, if you want the 13, do you need the heavy duty? And let me explain what they're talking about heavy duty. Notice down here in the note, it says heavy duty applications are recommended for 500-pound plus rider passenger. That's your total weight. So if you're a little bit heavier, you've got passengers a little bit, it doesn't take much to put 500 pounds on the back of the bike, but you'd want the heavy duty shocks on that. So make sure you're getting what's going to give you the best ride. Any questions, call Legends and make sure you get what you're looking for. Because you don't want to get out there and spend all this money and find out, it's not really what I was looking for. So the price on these is basically going to be $1,000. Now that's not including your installation and so on. Now, I will say Legends will send their trailers to a lot of different dealerships when they're having special events, and they'll do the installs for you for free. If you can work that out, I would do that. Or you can do them yourself. You can do them yourself. It doesn't take but, an hour is usually what it takes. Less than that, if you've got all the equipment and you know exactly what you're doing. But if you want them to do it, or your dealership, check with them and see if they're running the specials so that you can get your installation for free. Legend puts out a really great video series that they've got on their YouTube channel. And just to kind of share with you, what's the difference between a stock and a Legend?
Something like Legend shocks. Now, you've got a couple of options here. This would be what they would consider their premium shock. And then this one here is stock. This is one of the stock shocks. You have a smaller, skinny one on the other side. And the truth of the matter is that they're just not very high quality shocks. They don't really generally work as advertised. And you, for the most part, are not going to weigh enough to actually get the suspension sag on those shocks set so that they give you a good ride. And that's where the Legends products come in, because these are all going to be fine-tunable with preload adjustment, rebound adjustment, compression adjustment on some models, where you're going to be able to dial those shocks in specifically for your ride. The spring rates on stock are not very good. The spring itself is not a very good quality. The adjustments just aren't there. So when you move over to something that's 100% American made, you've got American steel springs, billet aluminum, and shocks that are actually going to do what you ask of it. So when you set this preload up for yourself or two up, you're gonna get a shock that sits down in the travel more, and that's gonna allow the wheel to move up and down correctly as you ride down the road. That's gonna eat up a lot more of those harsh bumps and the potholes, and that's gonna make your ride way better. What you generally are getting with these is a really stiff shock that is just fully extended all the time, and it's really uncomfortable. you don't weigh enough. This ends up being a shock that no matter who walks into that dealership, pretty much everyone's got to be able to sit on a bike, touring model bike, whatever the case is, and not bottom that suspension out, or they're probably not going to buy it. So you get a way oversprung shock, you're getting a one size fits all. It's not an overly high quality product to begin with, and then the adjustments just don't work. So switching to something like this, serviceable, rebuildable, this is going to be something that's going to last you the life of that bike, and then probably the life of the next bike. These shocks are lifetime.
So the Legends were the second set of shocks brands that I had checked out, and I've got one more brand to look at, which is next week's, which is the Super Shocks. Some of you may have not have heard of them, but we're going to check them out, and I'll give you the review. Then the following week, I'll do a whole recap, give you the pros and cons of each brand of what I saw, and then tell you what my final choice was. So don't miss out on any of these episodes, and if you missed the Wilbers, there's going to be a link at the end so that you can check that out also. Thanks again for stopping by and checking out the channel. I'm so glad to have you part of the nation, and hopefully we'll catch you next week. Just make sure your ride's safe, and we'll catch you on the highways.